Attention, attention, all personnel. Incoming podcast. This is MASH Matters.
Hello. Let me ask you something. Do you like the show MASH? You know that show MASH that was on CBS for so many years? Do you like that show? Well, if you really like that show, then you are in the right place, because this right here, I'm pointing right now to this podcast. This is MASH Matters. My name is Ryan Patrick, and that lovely voice you just heard serenading us is one of the stars of MASH, Mr. Jeff Maxwell. Hello, Jeff.
It's wonderful being here, Ryan. Thank you so much. I'm just loving the podcast. Everybody does a great job, and I can't wait to get into this episode.
You're in such good voice today.
Thank you very much. That's so kind of you to say that. Thank you.
I dare you to go through the entire episode like that. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. This is exciting. This is episode, what, 347, 829? What's episode?
140.
Oh, my gosh. We've done 140 episodes?
Yeah.
Wow.
The odds makers in Vegas capped us at 82, so we are far exceeding expectations.
I'm exhausted. Good grief.
Right?
Yeah, come on.
We might just have to take a nap during this episode.
That's right. Well, you've had sinus surgeries, and I've had anxieties over your sinus surgery. So look at there. We're both in terrible shape, and we're still doing it.
Against all odds, we are still here for another episode of MASH Matters.
Yes.
We are going to tackle a lot of listener comments and questions and voicemails and whatnot today. But before we do that, I want to give you a little tease.
Ooh.
At the end of this episode, we are finally, at long last, going to reveal the official name of MASH fans, as voted by you, the listeners of MASH Matters.
Everybody's happy. Sit down, everybody.
We have narrowed it down, and then we put a poll out there, and then we forgot that we put a poll out there, so we put the poll back out there again, and more people voted, and we have the results, the official results today, and you will hear that at the end of this episode.
What kind of poll was that we put out there? Did anybody? It's a family show, so
That's right. So let's just jump right into some listener mail. What do you say?
Let's go. Absolutely. Here's one from Andy from the UK. And he says, Dear Jeff and Ryan. Oh, I won't do it. I'd do it, but I won't be good enough to all
I dare you to do the entire episode like that.
I've been a huge fan of MASH since I was a childhood. And when my own little boy, Milo... No, I'll start over.
Okay.
Dear Jeff and Ryan, I have been a huge fan of MASH since childhood, and when my own little boy Milo started school last September, I used my newly acquired peaceful lunchtimes to begin a full chronological rewatch. Wow. It was during this rewatch that I discovered your excellent podcast. And is he talking about our podcast?
Maybe this mail was delivered to the wrong podcast.
Okay, well, I discovered your excellent podcast, and listening to it has enhanced the pleasure of returning to MASH after several years. As I've slowly caught up on every episode of MASH Matters, I've noticed that the podcast itself has become like a favorite sitcom, complete with two charismatic stars. Let's send him a check. Great supporting characters. I'm hoping my favorite one-take Betty may make a repeat appearance someday. And even its own catchphrases, including, there's ointment for that. and you don't get that with my mother, the car. The constant reiteration of which of you is the fan and which of you was on the show has become like your own Abbott and Costello routine. Again, I don't know why. It's perfectly clear, isn't it, Ryan? You were the fan, obviously, and I was the one that worked on the show. So,
and I don't know is on second.
After your episodes on the greatest and least favorite episodes of MASH, you joked about doing an episode about the most mediocre ones. I have a suggestion for a topic that might make an interesting discussion. How about most underrated episodes? Well, there you go. We hear again and again about Adam's ribs, Tuttle, and goodbye, farewell, and amen. But how about the episodes that slipped through the cracks? I'm sure most fans could nominate episodes that they loved that few people seem to mention or praise. A few of my nominations would be To Market, Tell It to the Marines, Rally Round the Flag Boys, The Most Unforgettable Characters, and OR. I could go on, but I'd love instead to hear what you and the rest of your listeners think about the episodes that need more love. One other point I wanted to mention was that in a recent episode, or perhaps a vintage classic by the time you sort through your bulging mailbag to get this letter, it's a family show, so I'd appreciate it if you stopped talking about my bulging mailbag. Jeff mentioned a Harry Morgan film he remembered watching in which he rescued a little girl from a sewer system. In case anyone was interested in tracking it down, that film is 1951's The Well, a film I've always loved and which, though largely forgotten these days, was nominated for 2 Academy Awards for original screenplay and editing. It is well worth seeking out and can usually be found on YouTube. Thank you so much for making my favorite TV show all the more enjoyable. My MASH rewatch, coupled with your podcast, has left me with a warm glow that does not fade, although I think there might be an ointment for that. Oh, I want to hear that deserved this. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Hey, that was great. That's
Yes.
fun.
Thank you, Andy.
Fun. And hey, that is wonderful. I did not know the name of that show, that movie that Harry was in. And I'm telling you, go look at it. It's a great movie. It's scary, and it's actually something that's happened many times, including today. And Harry was great in it. Go out, watch the movie, The Well. You'll really enjoy it.
As Andy mentioned, it is on YouTube, so we'll put a link to that film in the show notes for this episode 140 at mashmatters.com.
That's really great. Andy, thank you for your email, and thank you for all of the wonderful things you say. And we'll do what you said. Some of them, anyway.
All right. Craig says, "Hi, Jeff and Ryan. I'm a longtime fan of MASH and your podcast. Keep up the amazing work. I'm sending this link in case you haven't seen it. The BBC recently posted this clip on YouTube, a discussion of MASH featuring Monty Python's Graham Chapman, who I believe was a medical doctor, on a 1980 episode of a show called Did You See? Chapman discusses the show not having canned laughter. I guess the show aired without a laugh track in the UK. In some ways, it's like they watched a different show over there. Enjoy." And also, I want to thank Bill and my friend Johnny also for sending the link to this. And it really is interesting. It's a long clip, and we'll put the link to this in our show notes. But this is Graham Chapman, who was one of the members of Monty Python, who passed away many years ago. This particular episode of Did You See? They're talking about MASH. So if you want to hear an intellectual discussion, click on the show notes, episode 140, and you'll find the link.
Graham Chapman, is MASH your kind of humor?
Yes, I like MASH. I think it's amazing, incidentally, that they've managed to keep up such a high standard of writing and performance over, I think there are more than 150 episodes now, which is fantastic. Also, it's one of the few programs that doesn't have dubbed-on laughter from a studio audience, or non-existent audience in some cases, programs these days. I like that. In the States, incidentally, you do get a dubbed-on audience, so it's rather better here.
That's really cool. Thank you, Craig. I am going to click on that link. I won't do it right this second. Because
Not right now. Not right now.
Yet,
yeah.
Thank you.
We have so many links that we're going to be putting in this episode, by the way. It's going to be link heavy. Get your clicking finger ready, because it is going to be a link heavy episode.
Well, I think clicking, doesn't it reduce calorie intake or something?
Yes. You burn calories.
Right. And you can't grab the candy when you're...
That's true.
All right. To interrupt you. And Tim says, been really enjoying your podcast and YouTube videos for years now. So glad you're doing this. Thank you. I've been a MASH fan for decades and still watch them almost daily. It's a comfort show for me. I love that you're finding out answers to these trivia questions and little-known facts. It makes my favorite show even more interesting. And the interviews you guys do are the proverbial icing on the cake. Anyway, to get to my trivia question. In Season 1, Episode 19, The Long John Flap, what song was Hawkeye singing leaving the mess tent with Trapper around the first 2-minute mark of the episode? I've been curious about it for years, and thanks to you two and your podcast, I finally have someone capable to ask. Keep up the awesome work. Looking forward to your next podcast and hoping you goofy guys can actually answer the question.
Were you in charge of asking the capable person to join us on this podcast today?
Let me find Margaret. Come in here, would you please?
Well, I did find the answer.
Wow.
Raising expectations really early in this episode.
Yeah.
But Tim, yes, I did find the answer to this question. Now, first of all, I have to say I was a little confused when I first read it because I didn't remember this scene and this song. This is one of those scenes that is routinely clipped out of the syndicated versions of the show. But if you watch it on DVD or if you watch it on Hulu or wherever you watch it, I think Disney Plus outside of the States, you will see and hear this song.
It's cool of the evening, and when the singing fills the air, and the shake of the night, when the demons are right, and you can tell them I'll be there, and you can tell them I'll be there.
That song is in the cool of the evening. And it won the Academy Award for Best Original Song in 1952. It was actually for a film that was in 1951 called Here Comes the Groom. In that film, it was performed by Jane Wyman and Bing Crosby. And that film was directed by Frank Capra.
Wow.
Here's a little clip of Jane Wyman and Bing Crosby singing that song.
In the cool of the evening, tell 'em we'll be there. In the cool of the evening, better save a chair. When the party's getting a glow on, singing fills the air. In the shank of the night, when the doings are right, well, you can tell 'em we'll be there.
There you go. And if you would like to see the full song, you can, yep, you guessed it, click on the link in our show notes, episode 140 of MASH Matters at mashmatters.com.
I'm clicking. You know, going back just for the heck of it for one quick second about the well, I'm so impressed that I remember that movie never escaped from my brain. And I saw it, I must have seen it 100 million years ago, and it never went away. And I didn't know, and I'm very impressed that it was nominated for 2 Academy Awards for screenplay and for editing, because both those, the screenplay was terrific and the editing it will keep you on the edge of your seat. So going back, please, everybody go watch The Well on YouTube.
Also, going back to Andy, we kind of blew over this part, but he talked about the most underrated episodes of MASH, and he gave his picks.
Yes.
We'd love to hear other listeners give their picks, and maybe we'll talk about that in an upcoming episode.
Yeah.
Andy has put out the call. What is the most underrated episodes of MASH?
Yeah.
Let us know, mashmatterspodcast@gmail.com.
There will be no revenue, Andy, in this for you, so forget it.
None
Whatsoever.
But enjoy your peaceful lunches while Milo is at school.
Yeah.
All right. From our friend Rena, she says, I'm delighted every time to see that you've released a new episode. It's so much fun listening in as you discuss this great series. You choose favorite shows, but I want to say season 4 is my favorite. I agree with what you said back in episode 39. Gosh, I don't remember what I said earlier in this episode, let alone episode 39. But she says it was about season 4 being more grounded. In my humble opinion, that's attributed to the characters of BJ and Colonel Potter providing better balance to Frank and Margaret than Colonel Blake's character offered. I also prefer the less sanctimonious Hawkeye. Thanks to your podcast, I'm watching the show with fresh eyes and noticing all sorts of things, especially the reactions of background characters in the scenes, as you mentioned about Radar. I couldn't help noticing something else. Why is Radar always waking people for their shifts? I assume that he has an alarm clock for this purpose, but why is he the only one? Wasn't it rather affordable and ubiquitous even back then? Another comment. There's so much to do over Klinger's nose, but it doesn't seem to me any bigger than Hawkeye's. And while we're discussing Klinger, however did a Lebanese end up with such a name? Keep up the good work. You're both doing a great job. Well, Rena, I cannot speak to the Lebanese having the name Klinger. I also do not know the proportions of Klinger's nose in comparison with Alan Alda's.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if we ever get them in the same room, maybe we can measure them together. We'll see. And as for Radar being the only one who has an alarm clock, I guess, I don't know. He was the alarm clock. It makes sense that if anybody in camp was to be the first person to be awake to wake others, it would be Radar.
And he was the only one that slept with a stuffed animal, too. So it fits. Only one with an alarm clock, only one with a stuffed animal. There you go.
We also do not have the proportions of his nose either.
No.
But we'll work on that. Thank you, Rena.
Thank you, Rena. Okay, and BJ, what? Wait a minute. BJ says, hi, Jeff and Ryan. This is BJ, and I live in Cincinnati and have a super easy question. I couldn't help but notice that your MASH Matters phone number has a Cincinnati area code. And being the stalker I am, oh, great, I traced it to Williamsburg, Ohio, less than 20 miles from me. Was your number picked randomly, ensuring the last 4 digits were 4077, or do you have a local connection in the 513 area? Just wondering in case there's someone close whom I can geek out on MASH. I love you fellas and have been following you too since episode 1, including when you go to the market and when you take your dog to have it washed. I'm following you everywhere. Oh, wait, no, I didn't say that. Ryan, I'm so, well, the stalker. He said he was a stalker.
He did. He claimed, yes.
Okay. Ryan, I'm so glad that you put this podcast together. And Jeff, I'm thrilled that thanks to the podcast, you've come to appreciate what we've known all along, that MASH is special and it truly matters to us all. Thanks again, guys. You're the best. The other BJ. Well, thank you.
And thank you for listening to us from episode 1. You asked about our phone number. No, we are not in Williamsburg, Ohio. I'm sorry to disappoint you. You were correct in your assumption that we were able to secure a number that had 4077 in it, and therefore it was just randomly assigned to us. I'm sorry that you are not going to be able to geek out with us in person, unless, of course, you're, like in our shrubbery watching us eat dinner or whatever. I don't know.
I'm going to go out and look at my shrubbery right now.
I'm going to go install another Ring doorbell. Yes, that is our phone number, 513-436-4077. You can call and leave a voicemail under 3 minutes in length, and we may feature it in an upcoming episode. And speaking of voicemail, let's listen to a couple. What do you say?
I like the idea.
All right. This first one is from Wes. And then right after that, we're going to play one from Jay.
This is Wes, second-time caller from Illinois. First, I want to say I really enjoy the show. You guys are very entertaining and very informative. I love learning the stuff that I learned about the show MASH. But it was mentioned in the last episode about Harry Morgan singing, but in the episode Change of Command, at the very end of the episode, Colonel Potter, Hawkeye, and BJ sing together in really good harmony. So was that the actors actually singing that part, is my question. And in reference to musicians, I play guitar and a few other instruments. I also write music, and I can't read a lick. So it can be done without reading, but I admire those that can do it, I have to say. And I'm also wanted to bring up, somebody mentioned way back about 4 generations of people that watched the show. I started watching it when around 1978 because my dad was in Korea. He was into watching MASH. My kids enjoyed watching it. Now I enjoy getting my grandson to watch it. So, yeah, there's 4 generations for you. So keep up the good work.
Hey, Jay from Sioux Falls. I've been behind for a couple of months, but I listened to an email where she says she's a rarity where there's 4 generations in her family that love MASH. Well, I must be too, because my grandmother, my parents, my siblings and I, and my daughter all love MASH. That's 4 generations. Oh, and I have a question. And if this is too personal, Jeff, forgive me. You can tell me to shut up. I'm just wondering, an actor of a certain age who doesn't currently have a full-time gig, how do you fool your days? Do you have other artistic pursuits? Are you writing another cookbook, or do you just watch, TV all day? I'm just curious. I mean, you're not 25 anymore, though you look incredibly good for a guy that was on a TV show half a century ago, man. I'm just curious how you fill your days, generally.
Actually, I think I said Jay, but it's Dave, not Jay. Dave.
Dave.
Jeff, how do you keep that amazing looking figure after so many years? What do you do every day to look so good?
How many stalkers does a podcast have? And can a podcast have? How many? And just if I may, just to stop that train of thought for a moment, how many Ring doorbells can you have, actually?
That's a great question.
Does it depend on the size of your door? Can you put more than one on one door, or do you have to split them up?
I think you should have one on every door of your house.
Yes, especially after reading, don't remember his name, but whoever that stalker is.
BJ, yes.
Oh, BJ, yes. I'm going to put a Ring doorbell in the shrubbery now. Just right. Okay, well, the question is, if I remember correctly, and gosh, an old guy like me don't remember what we're doing. Your name again?
He wants to know, how do you fill your days? What do you do nowadays, Jeff?
All right, girls, get out of here. All right, just for a second. Well, I'm a fairly busy fella. I am not completely out of show business. I still am involved in creating television shows and writing movies and trying to sell them and trying to fund them. So if any of you out there who are incredibly independently wealthy and want to get into the movie business, please don't hesitate to let us know at 1-800, whatever our 4077 number is. And I do that. I enjoy doing that. And I have some friends, and we usually get together and do things together in various ways and capacities. And I have a pretty good life. I enjoy myself, and my wife and I have been married a number of years, and we enjoy doing things. And golly, let's see. Other than that, I don't do anything. I don't do anything. I watch TV.
Well, you hang out with George, too.
Yeah, I hang out with the bird. Me and the bird, we watch TV, and I tell George, I'm not on TV anymore. I don't know what to do. But I may go back on TV. I've been thinking about doing that, and many people have said, hey, go do it. And I don't know whether I'm going to do it or not, but maybe I'll do it. If anybody out there thinks I should do it, let me know. And or if you think I shouldn't do it,
we'll put a new poll out, and then we'll forget about it. Thank you, Dave, for that. Also mentioning both voicemails, mentioning that their families had 4 generations of MASH fans. And yes, it seems that there are many more of those. Wes talked about Harry Morgan singing. We said in a recent episode that of all the singers on MASH, he was probably the least talented singer. But that is a good scene. He brings up a good scene at the end of Change of Command. You hear a little ditty from Potter and Hawkeye and BJ, and they sound quite good. It's very well done. Of course, their characters are drunk at that point, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
There's a long, long trail winding into the land of my dreams, where the nightingales are singing and the white moon beams.
Yes, those were the real actors singing. You can hear Hawkeye, Alan Alda doing the high harmony part of it.
Wow.
And then Wes also talked about reading music. That is in reference to something I mentioned about doing plays or musicals, and I preferred plays because I can't read music. Mm-hmm. And our friend Joel also chimed in about that. He says, Ryan, just listened to episode 136, and you mentioned one reason you prefer performing in plays rather than musicals was your inability to read music. I've performed in many musicals over here in the UK, in venues from 100 seats to 2,000 seats without being able to read music. I figured out the following that will hopefully help you make some use of these mysterious dots. Dot goes up, note goes up. Dot goes down, note goes down. The more ink in the note, the shorter it is. Anything more than that, you can note lightly in pencil on your copy. Cheerio. Well, there you go. Thank you, Joel.
Wow. I've never heard a more wonderful description of actual musical notes than that. That opens up whole new worlds for me, really.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's amazing to me because Joel is not the first person, and Wes obviously mentioned it in his voicemail, that many people out there who perform music cannot necessarily read music.
Mm-hmm.
They, learn by ear, or they know the notes and they can just piece it all together. But as far as like looking at the music while they're performing it, a lot of people can't do that.
Mm-hmm. Interesting discussion about musical notes. Because I've been at a couple of musicals, not on Broadway, of course, not yet. But a couple, and I cannot read music either. But I listen to the melody, and I copy the melody, and then beg people to help me, and that works.
You're very good at begging.
I'm excellent at begging. George and I really do that by ourselves now that I have nothing to do and sit around all day.
Right.
Oh, golly. And our friend Daniel, a Patreon VIP, and I'm saluting right now, says, "Hey, Ryan and Jeb, I love the podcast. I started watching MASH when I was 17, and I just fell in love with the writing. I don't think I would have learned about things like the Ravel piano piece and Dr. Charles Drew's contribution to the science of blood transfusions if it hadn't been for MASH." Wow. My questions are for Jeff. In the episode, you can take a minute and go.
Okay, I'm going to go grab a sandwich.
Yeah, right. In the episode where there's a war, there's a will, Hawkeye refers to his bathrobe as being purple. But on screen, it always looks red to me. So I just wanted to know if you could remember what color it looked like in person. And also, did you ever have to wear it when you were Alan's stand-in for the lights? Interesting question. I bought Jeff's cookbook, and I know I'm not the only one that would love it if Igor would be willing to do a short cooking video on the YouTube channel using one of the recipes. My favorite episodes of the podcast are when you both just talk about the show and Jeff tells stories. Thanks for all you do. Well, interesting questions. All right, first question. Hawkeye's robe.
Mm-hmm.
To my knowledge and to my memory, Hawkeye's robe was maroon. It was not red, nor was it purple. It was maroon colored. And I did not wear it because it, Alan wore it a long time, and I don't think they ever washed it. So I did not, would not put it on. But he was a nice guy, but they never washed the robe.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. Be fun. Was a great idea to do a cooking video on YouTube. Well, we'll think about that.
Yeah.
What the heck? I like it. I like the idea.
Do it in character.
Yeah. Oh.
Maybe you'll get some residuals from it. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, that's a great idea. You get 12% for suggesting that idea.
12% of nothing.
Nothing. Fine. You said it. I did. Well, thank you. Thank you, Daniel, for writing in and giving us those ideas. And thank you for being a loyal Patreon VIP. We appreciate you.
Yes, and we'll be doing a Patreon salute here very shortly. First, we want to hear from Art. He says, "My wife and I found out about your podcast right around episode 134. We both enjoy listening to it. Actually, we went back to the beginning and have been listening to several episodes every day, but we listen to them independently at our own pace. We often spend a lot of time sitting by our fire pit in the backyard, enjoying them immensely. You two are simply amazing." Aw, Art.
Oh, gee.
He says, "We are of an age to have grown up with MASH and still watch episodes every night on Hulu. Your podcast has challenged us to watch the show more thoroughly to see some of the special moments we might have missed the first hundreds of times. We decided to support the show by ordering some merch from the link on your store. We each ordered 2 shirts with different logos, and we bought 2 mugs to take with us when we sit by the fire to catch up with all the available shows." So thank you, Art, and Jocelyn, I believe was his wife's name.
Aww.
Thank you to both of you. And yeah, he even sent a picture to us of everything they bought. And I think that we are going to go ahead and nominate Art and Jocelyn as customers of the year.
Oh, great. Oh,
man, they bought a haul from the shop. And if you have not checked out the shop, just go to mashmatters.com and click on the store link there at the top. And that'll take you to our store where you can buy T-shirts and sweatshirts and hats and mugs and thongs. No thongs. No.
Do we have thongs yet?
No, not yet. Not yet. We're working on that. It's hard to get the logo on a thong, but We're working on it.
It's harder to read, actually, once you do get.
But you can find all sorts of things. But I'm telling you, Art and Jocelyn, they have raised the bar pretty high.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
And be careful sitting out by that fire pit because you never know. Some you fall in there or something. Jack says, you had an event last year out at the ranch. Will you be doing one this year? Which event? I don't remember the.
Well, the one you did last year was you were invited out there, and they showed an episode, and you did like a little question and answer thing afterwards. And then a couple of years ago, we were both out there at the ranch for the 50th anniversary celebration.
Yes,
I can tell you that we have no plans as of right now to do another big event at the ranch, both of us. But as far as you, Jeff, is there anything in the works for you to go back out and do another Q&A?
Well, during the day, yes, because I have nothing to do during the day because I'm just going to go out there and wander around aimlessly.
Sit in a lawn chair with a sign that says, ask me about MASH.
Yeah, ask me about MASH. I'll give you, put $1 in this cup and ask me something. To answer the question legitimately, I have no plans to do another event out there by myself. That was kind of a one-shot deal. It was an idea that was somebody came up with to go out and talk about what it was like to work out at the ranch so that folks couldn't understand that. And it was presented at the ranch, and the audience were people who were actually camping out in the ranch area. So it was people camping at the ranch, wanting to know what it was like working at the ranch. And so it was fun. We all had a good time. Interestingly enough, the very next morning, a poor kid was playing out there, and it was attacked by a mountain lion. So that wasn't a good thing.
Kid's okay, though, right?
Kid is okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, okay.
The kid is okay. The mountain lion, not so good, but the kid is all right.
All right. Well, and we are always hoping that, I'm speaking for you, Jeff, but I think you shared this opinion, that we're always hoping that there is an opportunity for you and I to get together again and do some sort of event.
Yeah.
Whether it's at the ranch or somewhere. It's been a while since you and I have been in the same zip code. And so it would be nice to, it would be nice to do that sometime again.
Yeah. I wonder if people think we're just sitting by the pool, doing this with our microphone.
We're not.
We're not. No.
BJ can tell you we're not doing that.
Right.
He can show you the photographs.
The aerial shots of where we actually
drone
are.
shots, yeah. In fact, BJ, come on in.
Come on
in.
Yeah.
No, for those of you who don't know, I'm in Illinois. Jeff is in California, so it's difficult for us to get together.
Yeah.
Someday, hopefully, someday soon, we'll figure something to get us back together.
It would be fun to do an event, us two, and we'll maybe do something. Somebody else would be at the event. Who knows? But we could do something.
Yeah.
It'd be great to do it out at the ranch, but it'd also be great to do it somewhere else, somewhere that was,
yes,
inside and had no mountain lion.
Air conditioned would be good. And also, we don't want to organize it. So if you want to put it together and invite us and cover our travel expenses and put us up in the fancy hotel in town, whatever, reach out to our people. And our people being BJ and the other guy.
Yeah, we don't want to do anything, okay? But
we'd love to get together for an event.
Yeah.
Don't put us in charge of it.
We're not lifting a finger, okay?
No, absolutely not.
We'll show up. We'll put our pants on. That's about as far as it goes.
All right, moving on. This is from Gabrielle, who is a longtime Patreon VIP. She said, "Hi, Ryan and Jeff. Hope you're both doing well. I was checking out the MASH subreddit page and found a post about several MASH actors guest starring on Diagnosis Murder. The episode was called Drill for Death. The actors who guest starred were from the movie, the series, and a spinoff. So from the movie, we have Elliot Gould and Sally Kellerman. From the series, we have Loretta Swit, Jamie Farr, and Bill Christopher. And lastly, we have Christopher Norris, who played Nurse Brancusi in the spinoff Trapper John MD. When I watched the episode, it was like seeing a MASH trifecta of actors. In any case, here's the link to the episode of Diagnosis Murder. I hope that you enjoy it. And thank you, Gabrielle. And yes, you guessed it, we will put the link to this episode in the show notes, episode 140 at mashmatters.com.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's a heck of a lineup of guest stars.
Well, it really is. Yeah,
is.
that's a lot of people. My goodness.
We're not going to spoil it and tell you who did it.
No.
That's because I haven't watched it all the way through yet.
Don't know who did it.
I still don't know who did it. But I mentioned that Gabrielle is a longtime Patreon VIP. We have a long list of Patreon VIPs that we have not yet saluted.
Okay.
And we are going to right that wrong right now.
Yes.
Including Private Tristan Symes.
And Christopher Castleman.
In the Corporals category, we have Lisa Wood.
Jeffrey Van Sickle.
Eric Soike.
Sharon Hughes.
Jeanette Geisbrecht.
Amy Tebow.
Ron Crawley.
And Jonathan Luna.
And then our newly minted captains, Brandon Johnson.
Beat German.
Howard Smith.
And John Lobato.
As always, we are so sorry if we destroyed the pronunciation of your names, and we are so thankful for your support in spite of it. If you would like to support the show for as little as $3 a month, just go to mashmatters.com/support.
And if you would like your name destroyed, please don't hesitate to give us as much support as possible.
All right, let's go to the phones. Here is another voicemail from our friend John J. Cashman.
Hey, hello, Ryan and Jeff. John J. Cashman checking in once again from the great state of New Jersey with some random thoughts from over 50 years of MASH and over 6 years of MASH Matters. For example, how many people were on staff at the 407.7? In the pilot episode, they sold raffle tickets for $10 and raised $1,800. Unless people bought multiple tickets, that comes out to 180 personnel. That seems like a lot of people in the camp, since the only ones who seemed to have their own tents were the officers, the nurses, and for some reason, Corporal Klinger. How many surgeons were on staff? In the first season, there was Hawkeye, Trapper, and Frank, as well as Captain Jones and Captain Spaulding. And in some episodes, there was a staff dentist, and others there was not. In MASH, the movie, the dentist was a pivotal character, famously portrayed by John Schuck. His nickname was Painless, and he was contemplating suicide, which is probably where they got the lyric, "Suicide is painless." They eventually whittled it down to the 3 doctors in the swamp, whoever they happened to be at the time, and the colonel, so that would be 4 surgeons. I don't think there was a phantom second shift that we never saw. Whenever there was a staff meeting, it was always just the 4 surgeons, the head nurse, the company clerk, and maybe the chaplain. In the fine episode of Nurses, we didn't see any of the regular nurses. We saw a whole nursing staff that we never saw before and would never see again. And of course, every time Radar dated a new nurse, she was gone by the next episode, and he was left with his teddy bear. I find that highly significant. But my favorite inaccuracy comes in Dear Peggy, the episode that Ned Beatty appears in. At one point, he speaks of going all the way up to Captain Harry S. Truman, implying Harry is still president. But earlier in the same episode, Hawkeye refers to Vice President Nixon. Nixon, of course, did not become VP until the Eisenhower inauguration in January of 1953. And I noticed a couple of the secondary characters got to use their own names in this series, like Roy Goldman and Nurse Kelly, and of course the one episode where Igor's last name was Maxwell. But I must admit, my all-time favorite MASH Matters is episode 67, where Jeff Maxwell offers me a chance to co-host. Just letting you know, I will be thrilled to my toenails for such an opportunity, so if Mark ever can't make it, I can be available. I'll even bring my own refreshments. Well, once again, my 3 minutes is almost up, so Ryan and Jeffrey, let's make a wish, have a river of liver and an ocean of fish.
Wow.
I hope you listen carefully, because there will be a test.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Yes. Wow. Boy, oh, boy. That was amazing.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I listened, initially not as carefully, and then I went, oh, my gosh, that's amazing. And then I passed out.
It was a barrage of information.
It was stunningly accurate. Wow.
Yeah, very well done.
And if Mark ever does decide to take a break, John, you're in. But that was fun. I have to admit, that was fun to hear that. Thank you, John.
And he discussed the phantom second shift that we've discussed in previous episodes. Todd says, Jeff and Ryan, you once asked about the fact that we never saw the inside of the Goldie's business that is adjacent to Rosie's bar. In Abyssinia Henry, Hawkeye, Trapper, and Radar had their final drinking night with Henry in a private party room, which was assumed to be part of Rosie's. In the episode A Night at Rosie's and Ain't Love Grand, we see that there is a dining area and an adjacent room within Rosie's bar. Either that party room was converted into a dining room or the party room was actually Goldie's. My theory anyway. Also, you had previously mentioned the second shift of doctors that was mentioned in the early episodes, but we've never seen that shift. However, in the tag scene of Sticky Wicket, Hawkeye tells Trapper that he's moving back into the swamp after moving into the supply tent. Trapper quips that he can't move back because a Captain Phillips moved into his space. Also, the episode The Incubator opens with Hawkeye and Trapper slowly waking up with massive hangovers from a party the night before. At one point, Hawkeye removes a blanket from a sleeping guy that's laying on the floor with a guitar on his chest. Trapper identifies him as Dr. Klein. Perhaps these two doctors are from the mythical second shift. Things to consider. Keep up the great work.
Wow.
Interesting theories there.
Yes.
But we do learn of another doctor in our next message.
Yes, from Roy. Roy says, "Hey there, Sir Jeff and Ryan. Greetings from the Netherlands. Love MASH and love the podcast, although it should be named Igor Matters." Oh, thank you, Roy. I agree with you. I'll send you $10. In episode 79, you discussed the second shift, and Ryan talks about being afraid that the second team would be Igor. Well, guess what? In season 2's Officers Only, when Hawkeye and Trapper are operating on the General's son and Henry walks in the OR, guess who is the chest cutter on the first table? Love your show and keep making MASH Matters even more. Thank you.
And I went back and reviewed this scene, and there it is, right there around the 320 mark. You see the one and only Jeff Maxwell performing surgery.
Really?
Yes. Do you not remember that?
No, I don't. I don't remember that. No, I don't remember ever doing surgery there. Huh. Wow.
Yes, it's you. You know, we can't see your face because of the mask, but those dashing eyes and those eyebrows are unmistakable.
My goodness. Well, interesting. I will have to take a look at that. I don't remember it, and I must have blacked out or something, and they put me in there or something.
Or you were demoted to the mess hall.
Yeah, I didn't do so well as a surgeon. Yeah.
All right, we're in the home stretch here. Here we go. Kevin says, "Good afternoon. I spent the afternoon with my sweetheart browsing through the Orange Tree Antique Mall in the Orlando area on June 15th, and I came across several pieces of vintage MASH memorabilia. Unlike the toys associated with the show, this one, though I'm not generally a collector, I may just have to pick up since it is so unconventional. I've included the picture of the MASH 4077, the vodka IV bottle from Hawkeye Distilling. It is not in pristine condition, but the lettering on the glass looks good given the age. I told my lady that if I'm going to add anything to our home, one that is already pretty full, it will certainly have to be this quirky and unexpected item. As we men can all understand, she and I have been in the negotiation phase ever since. Cool piece, huh? I don't know how rare they are, but these clearly are not a secret or particularly rare, since I found them on eBay in good condition for $30 to $50. Have a great one, gents." Well, yes, thank you. I own one of these, the vodka. It's back here on my shelf. Mm-hmm. It's in the original box, and actually it's never been used. So it still has all the pieces in plastic, and it's never been put together. And yes, you can find these. They're readily available online. You can find these MASH IV bottles. I'm going to include in the links in the show notes. It's a link to an article from our friend, the MASH historian, where he talks about different alcohol that was produced under the MASH name. This one being under the Hawkeye Distilled Products Company, which is actually not related to Hawkeye vodka that is still being produced today. But he goes into how it wasn't just vodka. It was also gin, rum, and scotch, but that they didn't necessarily produce new containers for him. They just put a sticker over vodka to say gin, rum, and scotch. Again, you can read all about it and see pictures of the IV bottle there in the show notes at mashmatters.com.
All right.
And please do not use it intravenously.
No. And by the way, Kevin, I have 300 of them in boxes here at my house. So if you want one or maybe 100 of them, we can give you a good deal.
BJ can help you load them.
He'll drone them into you probably. Anyway, Andrea says, "Hi, Jeff and Ryan. playing catch up on some episodes, and Jeff asked the question, why collect? As someone with a collector gene, the question gave me pause. While I don't collect MASH memorabilia, I do collect other items specifically related to my serious fly fishing, crocheting, and yarn spinning habits. I also collect Raggedy Ann and Andy items and film cameras. Wow, my goodness, you got a big cupboard. Got a lot of stuff you can put in there. Yeah, it is definitely a sickness, but it is also something more. For me, it is connecting with a specific moment in time or place that brought you happiness. I have my grandmother's crochet hooks. I don't necessarily use them regularly, but I keep them all together in the case she used. I use the film cameras I have collected, and I think about learning about photography as a kid running around with a disc camera. Yes, I am dating myself, taking shots of friends in high school. I have hand-tied flies from industry experts I have collected over the years, framed on my wall. So with the exception of my Raggedy Anns and Andys and a handful of fly tying items, the crochet hooks, the yarn spinning magazines, the fly fishing stuff, just about all of it gets used on a regular basis. So yes, I collect, but I do try to keep things I can use. Hope that helps Jeff understand the sickness many of us have. My goodness gracious. Well, that's fun. I used to collect stuff myself. I don't anymore, but I used to collect things that I loved antiques. So I used to collect a whole bunch of antiques that I no longer have and no longer collect. But they're very old, those antiques. They got older and you go, I don't need them anymore. But yeah, well, good for you. That's fun. And it's fun because you're looking at a time that you enjoyed or something about it or something takes you back in time. You say, oh, that must have been a wonderful time. It's a good thing to do. So I applaud you, Andrea. I get it.
Do you though? Or do you still think we're weird?
I just don't know why you want to put flies on the wall. I don't understand that. I mean, we have so many of them. I put them up there when I hit them with a fly swatter. They stay on the wall. But I don't get it.
Like trophies.
Trophies.
I swapped that one back in 64.
But I appreciate you, Ryan, and the way you have collected things in a very interesting manner, and you take care of them. You throw them all in the back of your closet, and you take great care of them. I applaud you for doing that.
Yes. I got Fibber McGee's closet back there just bulging at the seams.
And haven't we talked about doing another tour of your collection and stuff? We should do that.
There's more that we could probably put on video. I haven't done it yet, but I have to go back and rewatch the first one we did to see what I had in that one so that I don't do the same stuff over again. But yeah, we could probably do another video of some more of my sickness.
Maybe you could do that. And then at the end of that, I'll cook something. I'll cook cream of weenies.
There you go.
And that'll be it. It'll be great.
All right. We teased at the beginning of the episode that we were going to reveal the official name of MASH fans. If you're joining us for the first time here, you are on the tail end of a very long saga where we accepted listener submissions for official names of MASH fans. And I think we had a list of around 100 different names. We were able to narrow that down to a top 10. Then we narrowed that down to a top 2. And we put it out for everybody to vote on. Those two names were Mashaholics and Swamp Rats. Those were the two that made the finals. And now, after 750 votes, we can reveal the results.
I am on the edge of my seat.
All right.
I am on the tip of my tongue.
One came in at 60%. The other received 40% of the votes. The one receiving 40% was Swamp Rats, meaning that the official name of MASH fans, according to listeners of the MASH Matters podcast, Mashaholics.
Ta-da!
I know 40% of you are disappointed.
Yes.
But 60% of you are overjoyed.
That's right.
Probably the outcome of every one of our episodes, honestly. If you really think about it. So what do you think, Jeff? Mashaholics beating Swamp Rats 60% to 40%.
The people have spoken. What can I say? I mean, it's not us for us to make that decision. The people have spoken. That's what they want. That's what they want to see and live with. So we are now going to live with Mashaholics. I will adopt that as part of my lifestyle.
It is now canon. It is part of the MASH legacy. And thanks to everyone who cast a vote. Apologies to our friend Michael Hirsch, who really was pulling for mash holes. Yeah. But that one, unfortunately, did not even make the top 10. I'm so sorry, Michael. Yeah, I'm sorry. But hey, all you Mashaholics, I hope you enjoyed this episode of MASH Matters. You can reach out to us via email at mashmatterspodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter or X or Instagram. You can send a message with BJ as he drops by the bushes. Whatever you do, just reach out to us. You can also call and leave a voicemail, 513-436-4077.
And I think on Boop Boop Doo too, isn't there a Boop Boop Doo? Or was that was something else? I don't. I'm sorry. Never mind.
If there isn't, there will be very, very soon, and we'll be there. Until next time, here's looking up your old address.
There's a long, long night of waiting until my dreams are